cannot afford to miss a single moment of the next hour. Get ready to have your ideas about sexuality, love, and relationships blown wide open. It's time to get educated, entertained, and enlightened, as well as sexually empowered. You have now tuned into the Tantra Love, Sex, and Intimacy Show. Now, here's your host, Tanya Diamond.
Hey, everybody, it's Tanya, and of course, today I'm starting the program from on the road. That's right. I'm about 150 feet from the studio talking to you from my cell phone, and so it's going to seem a little strange while I do this. But I have a great guest, as usual, today, and just timely for the holidays. I'm going to ask Constance to go ahead and introduce herself and tell us a little bit about what she does while I make this graceful exit from my car into the studio. Hi there, Constance.
Well, this is the 21st century, to be sure. Hello, listeners, wherever you are. So, as Tanya said, I'm Constance Stellas. I'm an astrologer, and I've written a number of books on this subject, and the most recent one is called the Everything Book of Sex Signs, which is an astrological look at all 12 signs, focusing on what they like, how they like it, and what's the best approach if you're searching to make a connection with that sign.
Like it's an awful lot of fun. Is it a lot of work to figure out?
No. I mean, it was a little bit of work for me to write it, but for anybody who buys the book, all you have to know is your sun sign, and then in the back of the book there is a list of the Venus position and the Mars position. And by that I mean which constellation or which sign Venus was in your chart and Mars was in your chart when you were born. And then if you're kind of snooping on somebody that you're interested in or somebody that you're involved in, then it's not so much snooping. You look to see where his or her Venus position was or Mars position, because countless people have said, oh, I'm not supposed to get along with Virgos, or I'm not supposed to get along with Scorpios, but we've been married or we've been together for 20 years. Well, who am I to say no? There's always something more to the picture, and people's personalities, which is symbolized by the sun sign, may have clashes and not be an immediate fit. But Venus shows what you enjoy, sexually, environmentally, artistically, all sorts of things. So maybe there's a real tight Venus connection or a Mars connection, which is our assertive energy and our passion. And that will go a long way to diminishing any kind of conflict between sun signs.
So just because I've sworn off Leos in my life.
Well, what is your sign?
I'm a 0-degree Scorpio Libra with a Pisces rising.
Aha, yeah. That Scorpio Taurus is a little bit intense.
And so what's happened, I found through the years, is that I find a Leo and we have this amazing sizzle right off the bat. And in fact, I always say, oh, you must be a Leo. And we're great until that first kiss. And once we have that first kiss, for some reason, everything out of my mouth afterwards seems to hurt their feelings. And so
now, you're the Scorpio.
I am the Scorpio, yeah.
Okay. Well, I call the Leo-Scorpio combo the Battle of the Titans. Because you're equally matched in terms of power, but you speak different languages.
Yeah, and I swear that, I'll say something and they look at me and with this hurt expression, and I said, what do you think I just said? And they'll tell me something, and I'll go, I didn't say that. It's like I'm speaking an entirely different language. That explains it.
Yeah, true.
And so from now, basically, my best friend is a Leo, and I said, we just can't ever kiss.
Well, that's one way to keep it copacetic, as they say. Sure.
Right, and because I teach about living in arousal, it's perfectly great for us to be completely aroused by each other but not do anything about it.
Well, sure. That might be the way to solve it. That may be the way to solve it. Absolutely. Well, absolutely.
So I am in the studio now. I'm a little more together there.
That was pretty dynamic.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That was pretty exciting.
And where is your studio located?
We are in Bellevue.
Oh, in Seattle. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Great.
So You've written this book. You've written a few books or just this one?
I've written 4 books.
Okay.
My first book was called The Hidden Power of Everyday Things, and that I co-wrote with 2 other authors. I was responsible for the astrology part of it, and it goes through every birthday, 366 birthdays, and looks at the birthday from the point of view of what kind of environment you like to have around you. Colors, the gems, the scents, the tastes, the styles, the flowers, all sorts of things. And so I did the astrology part. A numerologist did a small analysis numerologically, and a Kabbalah person did a Kabbalah interpretation. So it's pretty complete. And that was my first book, but it's still around. And then my second book was called The Astrology Gift Guide. And I thought maybe we'd talk a bit about it just because Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yep, indeed.
The Astrology Gift Guide is kind of an absolute way or a no-fault way to find a gift that's going to appeal to your ever-loving.
Oh, my goodness, because, a lot of men have a big problem with that,
Yeah,
right?
because it's a big pressure. And so they fall back on the old standards, chocolate and flowers. They spend too much for the flowers.
Doesn't do much for me, yeah.
Yeah, and for certain signs, it just doesn't do anything.
Can you give an example if you know what I am?
Well, since you're Scorpio, first of all, you have to have chocolate would be okay because a Scorpio usually does like chocolate.
If I like chocolate, but I don't.
Okay.
No.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Licorice?
I do like licorice.
All right. Well, then there might be a sweet there. But anyway, see, Scorpio doesn't want to be too stereotypical.
No.
And
I don't like flowers because they die.
Yeah, they die, okay. But you want something that is in keeping with what the person feels powerful about. So I would say, of course, I guess you have a Kama Sutra or 2 around, but that would have been a good gift if you didn't.
Right.
But or something that speaks directly to the power of the person. But it can't be too ordinary. So everybody says, oh, Scorpio is the sexy sign, so lingerie. Not usually.
No.
Not usually.
Something deeper, something
deeper.
rare, like some rare book or something.
A rare book
on the occult,
or something about secrets. Scorpio loves secrets. There's a book called The Encyclopedia of Hidden Matters. Now that'd be a fabulous book.
There we go.
For
those of you listening that want to buy me a Valentine's Day gift.
Right. But each sign, and so I go through in the book each sign and a variety of holidays for what would really please each sign.
That's great.
And there's lots of examples, and there's also lots of budgets. If the sky's the limit, there's all sorts of things that you might buy for somebody. But most of us are not, in the high-flying category. So there's a medium budget, and then there's if you're down on your heels, what you can do with in a pinch.
I love this idea. I think even this book would be a great Valentine's Day gift.
It would be. I mean, if I do say so myself, it's pretty interesting, and there's lots of concrete examples of how each sign, manifests their desires, and also famous people, because I've found that, for example, there are many, Picasso was a Scorpio. Now, I mean, if I had unlimited funds, or you had a friend who had unlimited funds and gave you a Picasso, you might be wowed. But knowing about, or even a book about or concerned with the co-sign person, usually is very interesting to people of the same sign.
Because we're voyeurs, basically.
Yeah, that could be.
Or is that just
and
me?
also there's a resonance, There's a resonance between birds of a feather, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. People want to know what they do together. I am totally fascinated by this book. I think that, certainly I get a lot of emails around this time as well, people saying, God, do you have any ideas? And I always say things like, hey, I have classes, right? You have the book, I've got classes. The best thing in the world you can give to your partner is to come to a couples intimacy seminar or send them to a class about how to prolong your relationship. Yeah. So, I mean, these are excellent ideas.
That book is around too. And then my third book is called Advanced Astrology for Life. It's a bit more technical for people who already know something about astrology, but I think it's pretty readable for everybody. Some techniques about how you can investigate a person's chart or make more sense of it if you're working with other people. And then the most recent one, the Everything Book of Sex Signs, which I've been told is now available in Spencer's Gifts and Urban Outfitters.
And so the Everything
book. The Everything.
I've messed you up now. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Let me just.
Where's
see
the book?
Here. Where is the book? I've got one here somewhere. Everything Book of Sex Signs, because everything is actually a brand. Like the Idiot's Guide to. I think this is a much more humane title because there's the Everything Book of Wine. Okay, the Everything Sex Signs book. There we got it.
There we got it.
That's what it is. Everything Sex Signs book. There's one, the Everything Wine book. There's one, the Everything Book of Astrology. It's a whole series of kind of complete books on lots of topics. I'm sure there's one on sex.
If there isn't, I'll be writing it tomorrow.
Okay. I think there is. You might have jumped the gun on that one. But
the Everything book on Tanja.
Okay. I don't think they have that one, Tanja. You should get busy. You should get busy, definitely.
Very true. So where do you think that, we meet somebody and, we've got that chemistry thing going on, and where does this fall in? Where would we pick up the book? Because, I tell people that one of the worst reasons to have a relationship is because you're in love with somebody. And they're always like, what? And it's like, that's the thing that's the first to go when things are going wrong. There are other things that need to happen in a relationship, like that you actually have some type of compatibility in other arenas.
It's true.
It's true. And so, people often mistake, of course, lust for love. And then, of course, a lot of women need to fall in love or pretend they're in love or be in the space of love if they're having sex with somebody.
Right, absolutely.
So they don't feel bad about it. But when would we whip out this book? When?
I would say this is the first spark book, or long time down the road when things are getting boring.
Ooh, how do we use it for that?
Well, each sign has, there are 4 elements in astrology: fire, earth, air, and water. And even if you think, astrology is bunk, if you know your sign, and a lot of people do, and that's okay with me, because it has been a little bit watered down when you read those horoscopes in the newspapers.
Yeah,
or
we're
whatever.
all going to find, Yeah,
but that's a very incomplete view, because it's only based on the position of your sun. And you have all the other planets to contend with and to reap the benefit of. So I think it's very simple and understandable for people to understand, are they a fire sign? Are they earth, air, or water? And is their partner fire, earth, air, or water? And without even going into specifics, you know a lot from the get-go with that information. So the fire signs are usually fast, in a hurry, impatient, impetuous, enthusiastic, and not overly languid in the sack. The second title of my book is Astrology Between the Sheets.
Right.
So this is nothing to do whether they're loyal or loving. I mean, yes, they can be loyal. Yes, they can be loving. All signs can, but this is their rhythm.
Okay.
And the earth signs are very sensual in terms of the sense of touch, and they are more languid, slower, more exploring, involved in the senses. So good food, the nice feel of sheets on your skin, all of those things are very pleasing to earth signs. So if you're fire and he's earth, or vice versa, it has to be a little bit of compromise there, because your paces are usually very different. It doesn't mean that you're not compatible, but that you've got to kind of mix and match there.
And that would be helpful, instead of being impatient as
instead
fire
of saying,
sign
"Oh
impatient.
God, you never do what I like," you say, "Well, what can I say? I'm fire, you're," and it removes a whole level of blame or psychologically complex diagnosis, which definitely gets in the way with a nice physical relationship, unless you're an air sign, because they love to talk.
Okay.
So the air signs, and that's Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, is the imaginative, more mental pictures stimulated by ideas sign. Gemini especially just loves to chat on about sex. It's a real turn on for them. And they usually like to speak while they're having sex, which other signs think, oh my God, please. And if you kind of know this, then you might be forewarned, or you might be more indulgent about it. You might say, oh, okay, fine, give it a whirl.
Well, and if it turns them on, then you might encourage them to do it, because after all, you'd want them to be more turned on.
Sure. And then the last element is the water signs. Scorpio, of course, is water. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So you'll have 2 water signs in here. So your moon sign is Libra?
I'm a 0-degree Libra Scorpio. So I'm kind of insane.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
Right?
No, but what do you mean by that? You mean you're 29 degrees of Libra and 0 degrees of Scorpio?
No, yeah, wherever the exact moment that they change, 0 degree is where I was told I am. So at the
Wait a minute, I got to do this here.
She's got to do this now. Yeah, so that I'm
What is you mind saying your birthday on the air?
By astrology, not bipolar, but by astrology. 10/23/61.
Okay.
That was to 23,000 listeners now that are ready to
Everybody
send me business
knows
cards.
now.
Yeah.
And what time were you born?
3:37 p.m.
In Bellevue?
Houston, Texas. That's why you hear the y'all every once in a while.
Yeah, y'all. That's okay. I don't know if you can hear the wind right now, but we're having this ferocious, very, very high winds, and I'm on the 40th floor. So
wow.
I hope I don't
blow away up there.
Get blown away.
That's pretty impressive.
Okay. So, no, you're a Scorpio.
Well, I mean, by all...
Because you are at 0 Scorpio. This is true. But your Neptune sign is Scorpio, and your Mars sign is Scorpio.
I got a lot of Scorpio.
This weights the balance towards Scorpio. And you do have Mercury in Libra and Venus in Libra.
I know.
Which is lovely. But anyway, I would say you're a Scorpio.
Yeah, most people would say that.
Libra charm influence. Not that Scorpios aren't charming. But anyway, we didn't get to water. So the water signs are the emotional signs. They are also the highly intuitive, sensitive signs. There's usually got to be feeling connected to a physical relationship. Maybe the feelings will change.
Even if it's just our own feeling.
Yeah. But I think for water signs in general, unless it's a very kind of quick, surprising shipboard romance type of thing, the one-night stand thing usually doesn't happen. Yeah. Don't feel guilty if you're a water sign and that has happened to you, but I believe that, in my experience, that's the way it is.
Where we're not as necessarily as happy or as fulfilled when it happens.
Yeah.
At a deep level. Let's say.
Right. And depth is important.
Yes.
Depth is important. It's not all kind of fun and games. So some of the air signs, oh, well, that was fun. What's next? So if you know the element of a person's sign,
and you can
also
that in
think
your book, right? Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, my book is divided, not the regular way, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, but is divided first by all the fire signs, then the earth signs, then the air signs, then the water signs.
Excellent.
So you kind of learn a new way to look at astrology by thumbing through it. And there are some specific suggestions, what turns each sign on, what turns them off.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as I said, if you've been with somebody for a long time and your communication is dropping, then you might want to zip things up a bit. And I think the book can be helpful there. Look in
there and see what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Intriguing.
Absolutely.
So, what kind of accuracy do you think that it represents?
Interesting question. I tell you why, because I've never done a statistical survey, But what I do find when I've done workshops about the book, and there's this kind of like, oh yeah, nodding going on when you hit something on the head for people. And again, what is very I think enlightening is that it's kind of a no-fault system. In other words, it's not because of something; it just is.
I like that part.
And I mean, if I say, which I have observed and believe is true, that most Leos are in love with their hair, and they usually have beautiful hair. And then somebody says, yeah, but this guy was bald, or this woman really, well, at one point they did. And flattering, complimenting, stroking, brushing, fooling around with Leo's hair usually is a great turn-on.
Or their head if they don't have any hair?
Yeah, or their head.
Are we talking any hair on any part of their body, or was it usually just head hair? Can we substitute?
Interesting. Why not? I guess so. The lion has a mane, but I suppose he also has hair on other parts of his body, too.
You've got a lovely back hair here. Let me stroke it for you.
Could be. Definitely. Yeah, Leo rules the back, so I think you've got something there, Tanya.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Leos, do not wax your back if you have back hair.
Right,
you could be using that for sensual play.
Right. Very, very good idea. Very good idea.
I like that. What are the two most trying if you put them together? Who are the two people that are the two elements that are having the most trying times?
I think air and earth are a kind of a difficult combo because the air always that's Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini are so imaginative and so changeable and enthusiastic about this, that, and the other thing. And they move so quickly in their mind, and their fantasy life is quite varied. And Earth wants it to feel good and comfortable and solid and dependable. And so Taurus and Gemini, or a combination I've seen frequently is Capricorn and Gemini, which sometimes works out because the Geminis kind of amuse the Capricorns, but their worldview is so different, it's hard to make a bridge. I would say that's a little bit tough. Earth and water makes mud, so that's pretty good, actually.
That's good?
Yeah.
We want to make mud?
Yeah, because it's fertile, it's sensual, and it's creative.
Okay.
Fire and earth don't immediately go together, except fire gets the earth signs going. It kind of raises their temperature a bit. And then with your situation that you described, fire and water, that can be exciting because either the fire makes the water boil or, the not-so-good choice, the water puts out the fire.
Yeah, I think that's what generally happens. Yes, the fire does make the water boil, and then the water definitely boils over onto the fire.
Yeah, because fire usually is onto the next and or onto something else, not necessarily the next person. And there are, each fire sign has a little bit of a difference within this general category, but fire and water come from different language backgrounds.
Right.
Definitely.
Well, I'm finding out a lot here, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take a short break.
Oh, okay, great.
If that's okay with you, Constance, and it's definitely good with me. And we'll be back to talk more about sex, astrology, and anything else that happens to come up in our brains.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Great.
We'll see y'all in just a moment.
Right. Bye.
Is your sex life non-existent? Do sexual dysfunctions leave you soft? Is internet porn getting more than you are? Or are you paying more attention to porn than your partner? Have you tried talk therapy and it got you nowhere? You are not alone. You can be freed from sexual shame, guilt, and dissatisfaction. A visit to the Tantra teacher is in order. Call now and mention you heard the Tantra teacher on the radio and get a very special offer. Stop waiting for a miracle and call right now. 206-276-2735. Phone consultations or in person will get you the information you need to be successful in your love life. But you have to call now. 206-276-2735. Stop making excuses. Call the Tantra teacher. 206-276-2735.
This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action.
Are you one of the 40 million sexless couples in the U.S.? Are you wondering why having sex leaves you feeling lonely? Are you suffering from the myths of sexual dysfunction? Do you know in your heart that there has to be more than what you're currently getting out of making love? To rid yourself of sexual ignorance, get more out of your lovemaking, and find out more about spiritual sexual connection, then you need to check out www.thetantrateacher.com to receive your free copy of the ebook called Secrets of the Tantra Teacher. Don't suffer another minute without the sexual loving and ecstatic bliss you were born to receive. Get to www.thetantrateacher.com right now. That's www.thetantrateacher.com.
Be part of the show. Call now at ContactTalkRadio.com at 1-877-230-3062.
Gary, I just love you so much.
I thought you'd like that one.
Gary gave me some new intro music there, and that was just so perfect. We're here today talking with Constance, who has this great book that both of us keep messing the title up of, but she's going to tell us it right now.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to
She's
say
got
it correctly. The Everything Sex Signs book.
The Everything Sex Signs book. And you were telling us earlier about the fact that even maybe more important, or not more important, but a great way to see what's going on inside the relationship is actually the elemental elements.
To zero in your personal element.
And I like that. I can see where that people that are working with couples, such as I do, that would be good, because it'd be like, look, you're trying to make him, get up and go, and really he's just wanting to lay around and just fighting his natural rhythm.
And I think that can go a long way to for understanding. And again, as I said before, no blame.
Yeah, I like that too. It's not like, just why do you have to be that way? So if I'm hanging out with an Aquarius. Oh, you see? Yeah. I see. Okay.
That's another battle of the Titans.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that battle about?
Because, are you just making up an example?
No, I'm hanging out with several, but...
Okay. All right. Well,
the Aquarian has me a little stumped.
Yeah. They're quite, they're very erratic people. Their whole energy system is either on or off. And when it's off, there's very little you can do. It doesn't matter if you do a hula, stark naked, the full moon. You're not going to get him going. And it's nothing personal. It's that Aquarius it's an interesting sign, because in the very beginning of astrology, 5,000 years ago, we could only see to the planet Saturn. And so Aquarius was considered to be ruled by the planet Saturn, as is Capricorn. And then in the 1780s, astronomers were looking around, and there was another planet beyond Saturn that was then called Uranus. And Uranus became the planet associated with Aquarians. Uranus has everything to do with the electrical system, with sudden surges of energy, with maybe even erratic and eccentric behavior. It's quite an individual sign. And not all that personal. Probably the best friendships a person can have are with Aquarians, because they believe in friendship. And I think of all the signs, friendship with benefits is probably easier for Aquarius than any other sign.
So that's what we're looking for, friends with benefits. Check into those Aquarians.
Yeah. And but the thing, regardless of that, they're either when they're on, and when they're off, there's nothing you can do about it.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
So, right.
So they would be good friends with benefits, because then you can say, "Call me when you're on."
Yeah. Right. Give me a heads up.
And you don't have to worry about the other part.
And you don't have to worry about the other time. You know, they also like everything to be quite unique. You know, even eccentric. Nothing regular. I mean, you don't want to give them flowers or chocolate for Valentine's Day.
Well, okay, Aquarians, I definitely have your unique right here. You're unique and eccentric.
Yeah.
That would be me.
Okay.
We got that
great.
in spades. So.
Great.
What would you want to tell us to?
Well, one thing I was thinking that people may find interesting is that in addition to the element, of course, you can learn more about your sign, but each sign is connected with a part of the body.
Oh.
Some are sexy, some are not, but if you know them, you might kind of zero in a little bit, especially on that part of the body. So
all body
Aries
parts.
is our first sign of the zodiac. And Aries is the ram, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Aries rules the head, the forehead, and this is where tension mounts up. So, that kind of stroking the forehead, that's A1. A1. That'll be a good beginning.
I am liking this path, because this is about where can you touch somebody?
Right. Where can you touch someone?
Yes,
exactly.
Yes, tell me more.
And also, certain signs will respond exclusively to touch. And others, some talking's fine, but I'll go through them all. But for Virgo, for example, talk puts you in the wrong direction. You'll never make it. You need to touch first, talk less. Because if you get the Virgo's mind going, then they're going to start analyzing and criticizing either themselves or you, and you got a big problem. Anyway, next sign is Taurus. Taurus is the bull.
I love those Taurans.
And Taurus rules the throat and the in the woman, the décolleté, before the breast, and you'll find that whole neck area is the place to start with Taurians. I should also say each sign is either masculine or feminine. That has nothing to do with sexual preference, but the yang signs are assertive and outgoing, and the yin signs are receptive. So Aries is yang, Taurus is yin. Then Gemini is the next sign, air, and it is yang. And Gemini rules the hands and the arms, so usually any kind of touch on that area is good. But really the most important thing to Gemini is words, the sound of words, and the mouth, whatever comes out or goes in.
So if you were hand kissing a Gemini while you were pillow talking them?
Yeah. Or texting and hand kissing, or because Gemini is the more the better.
Mm-hmm.
They like constant stimuli that is pleasing to their mind and their ideas as well as their sense.
Excellent.
And Gemini usually is up for everything. It's a very flexible sign.
Excellent.
Yeah. Then the first water sign is Cancer, and Cancer rules the breast. So take it from there. As far as Cancer is concerned, a woman's breast is just a phenomenal invention because it's food and it's sex. So that's great because it's nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
And Cancerian as a sign is very, very nurturing. And Cancer is a yin sign or feminine sign. Another thing with Cancerians is you don't want to be in unfamiliar circumstances. I would say of all the signs, a quickie in a broom closet is least likely to occur with Cancer.
They like the build-up familiarity of...
Yeah, they need their old couch, or they need their good old bed, or they need something that reminds them of their childhood, and then they feel just terrific.
Okay.
But unfamiliar places doesn't sit too well with them. Then Leo, which we mentioned before. Leo actually in astrology rules the back and the spine, and I don't know how sexy that is, but a back rub is A1 idea.
How about a soft tongue and then blowing on the tongue, the
that'd
moisture afterwards,
probably be pretty
up
good.
the spine,
and then also, as we said before, the hair, stroking hair. Leo is a masculine or yang sign. And Virgo is an earth sign, which is also yin. And as I said before, don't talk to Virgos if you're having a problem, or even if you say, well, why don't you do it this way or something, you'll get messed up. You have to show and touch and no tell.
So if I want my ex to really respond to me, I should start rubbing his body before I talk to him.
Yeah. Yes, you should. You should. You should give him a shoulder rub.
Ooh, about that child support, baby.
Yeah, right. You should kind of, smooth him down, make sure everything's kind of calm and nice.
Excellent.
And usually Virgos are not too into hot and sweaty. You got to be a little clean for Virgos.
Neat freaks.
Yeah, some are and some aren't. And a lot of Virgos call me up and say, I wish I were, but I just can't get there. But you will find that most Virgos have an internal sense of organization, even if they haven't quite made it to the outside world in terms of their organization. Then Libra actually rules the kidneys, which is zero sex appeal, kidneys.
Oh, no, but that part of the back?
Yeah, that part of the back.
That
You've
part of
got
the back
it.
is
exactly.
very
that
nice.
That part of the back is very sensitive. But whether you touch that part of the back or not, you must have a romantic bent to make it with a Libra. You got to do the flowers, you got to do the dinner, the whole thing. Otherwise, Libra, male or female, and it has to be in very good taste. Nobody's going to go to Burger King if they're a Libra. They're just kind of like the
fanfare and the beauty.
Yeah, the fanfare and the soft lights and the ambiance. And there, plus, touching that kind of lower back, you're in.
I tell men, I'm going to be teaching a men's etiquette class, and that's how to, what to do when you're dating. And so I would say, if you know she's a Libra, there's this really awesome thing where men can put their hand on the small of a woman's back as he guides her into a restaurant or that type of thing. Right.
That would work.
It's going to work on Libras.
Perfectly. Now, Scorpio, the water sign. It is yin, interestingly enough. It is a receptive sign. But Scorpio rules the sex organs. So,
funny about that.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Softly, but softly.
Also,
softly on the sex organs.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
Right.
But Scorpio is the strongest sign of the zodiac. And the reason why about this, I think, is because Scorpio really does rule life, death, and everything in between. And it does rule sex, because sex is a transformative event.
No, it should be.
It should be. It can be.
Yeah.
And Scorpio delves into the mysteries of life. So there's all sorts of ways that the body responds in that way. I would say, in general, Scorpio is not casual about these things. They might get turned on by lots of things, but actually, once they're in a relationship, it's not a casual thing. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me if you agree.
Well, I would say that even what do I call myself? Intensely laid back. So I'm really laid back, but I'm intense about it. I'm intensely flexible.
Yeah, sure.
So I think that's true, that even if I want to have a dalliance, so shall we say, it's going to not be casual, because
no, I don't think so.
That's
yeah,
not.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I
so
agree with you.
There'll be an intensity to it.
And Scorpio also kind of makes their own rules. So if they decide you're the one or he's the one, and you're going to go into a cave or a boudoir for 10 days, it's going to be intense, and you'll stay there until the time is up. So that's the way it is.
Somebody dies.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Then we have Sagittarius, a fire sign, and Sagittarius rules the thighs. And also, of course, the image for Sagittarius is half human, half animal. So there you have it. The Sagittarius usually is a restless sign and lots of change. I think that sneaking into the airport or Sagittarius would be very keen. Anything that combines travel and sex and kind of fast-paced connections usually works out very well for Sagittarius. And, of course, the thighs can be a real sexy area.
Oh, of course,
needless to say.
Yes.
Then we move to Capricorn. Now, Capricorn rules the skeleton system, zero sex appeal, and also the knees. And the knees actually
the knees are
can
very
be.
sexy.
The knees can be sexy. The knees can be sexy.
I'm glad they gave them that because, you know,
But think about their symbol. It's the goat. And the goat is a randy animal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Capricorns are like the sneakers of the zodiac. You're not going to see it on the surface, but what happens between closed doors can be pretty interesting. They also are very tuned in to sense of touch. And style is quite important for Capricorn.
So personal style or other people's
personal style. They're not flashy. Leo might be, with more jewelry and more fashion. But Capricorn is going to be understated, classic, and good quality. So the men, might have a tweed suit or a worsted suit or something else like that. And the women
Chanel.
Usually just dressed, not sweatpants. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So, and they judge people by the way they dress.
Oh,
quite a bit.
Okay. Well, now this would be handy that if you were going to go do an interview and you could find out what the person's sign was.
Well, there's all sorts of ways to use this information. People that you're working with, people that you'd like to work with, people that you're, roommates with, or teachers. Yeah, once you find somebody's sign out, you have a wealth of information there. But if you get seriously involved with somebody, you do have to take a look at more than just the sun sign, as I said before.
Right.
All right, so moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius rules the ankle. And also the circulatory system, but the ankles, and I've noticed tons of Aquarians who have ankle bracelets. It kind of puts your, I'm not sure if it's a whole sexy thing, the ankle, but it's a good place to begin.
Well, the ankle, of course, in certain times when the ankle was shown, a woman would show her ankle.
That's
in
true.
The dress. That was incredibly arousing. And
That's
so
true.
we
That's
do have
true.
a lot of men out there that have fetishes around feet and ankles.
True. True.
So that can be, and I'm telling you, nothing like having your ankle kissed in a well way.
True. And then we said also, as I said before, since Aquarius rules the whole circulatory system, there's that quality of on or off. And I have heard, not personal experience, but one thing is if Aquarians get distracted while they're actually having sex, then their mind kind of gets distracted, and it almost shuts them down. They may be kind of physically still going at it, but mentally they're not there.
I've had that experience.
And they don't mind it as much as the partner minds it because
they've checked out.
They're checked out. They're thinking of something else.
Yeah, it doesn't work so well for the Scorpio when.
No, it doesn't work at all. Very
it's like,
well.
Hello, excuse me.
Yeah, hello, are you there? Come back.
Exactly.
So you can kind of pull their earlobes or something, get them back.
Grab their ankles.
Center ground. And then the last sign of the zodiac is Pisces, and that rules the feet. And a foot massage, reflexology, kissing your little toes, forget it. That's the beginning of a beautiful relationship for Pisces.
That is ecstasy. And, with my Pisces rising, that's definitely the way to my heart.
Yeah, I'm sure. Plus, Pisces also likes a nice atmosphere. It's got to be cozy. It's got to be private. Anything like a lagoon. A
lagoon.
A lagoon.
Take your Pisces to a lagoon.
Yeah. And in the book, I have little descriptions that were kind of fun to write of, like a best fantasy atmosphere for each sign.
Ooh, I like this.
Yeah, so that kind of gives you some tips. And if you wanted to create such a thing, then
what would be mine? What do you have for Scorpio there?
Let me just see what I have.
Let's check this out.
Here.
What is one of my fantasies that could be revealed in this book?
Okay, all right, we're going to do this.
I'm so intrigued. I'm of course getting this book.
That's okay. Yeah, get it. Get it.
Most definitely. Unless somebody wants to send it to me as a Valentine's Day present.
Oh, and I also go in the book through each one of the signs and their compatibility with all the other signs.
Excellent.
It's called the hot and not so hot combination.
I'm gonna get a T-shirt. I'm gonna get a T-shirt that says, "If you're one of these, pick me up."
All right. So it's called Setting the Scene. So you and your Scorpio will take a trip through the jungle or through the depths of a swamp. Wild alligators, a few snakes, persistent hum of the birds calling are all part of this safari. There's a little inn in this steamy paradise, and each room has a veranda that looks out into the savage vegetation.
I'm getting aroused already.
Okay, you and your Scorpio check in for a week.
Yeah.
The drums from neighboring tribe beat a welcome for all the guests. You and your Scorpio drink martinis in the bar and then go up to your room. It is simple with a large white wicker bed. Off come the safari clothes, and you both dive under the mosquito netting and get primitive. Your sighs, groans, and screams fit in with the vibrating sounds of the jungle. So there you go. There's a little bit similar to that for each sign. And obviously that wouldn't work for another sign. I mean, I am a Libra. I would say, snakes? Forget it.
No way.
No way, right.
Don't give me the primitive.
No, don't give me the primitive. I require the ladies and gentlemen.
We are checking you into the Victorian, complete with tea,
right,
up to the grand bedroom with these silken feathers and
exactly, exactly.
I've got your number, Constance.
Okay, you've got my number. Well, we actually have something in common because I also have Venus in Libra.
Oh, there we go. And so. Yes, that Venus and Libra that's all about love, right? How I like to be loved.
It's about love, and it's about decorum, and it's about relationship and really fidelity and marriage. Libra is the sign of relationship and marriage. So every Libra must convince himself, even if it's a different person every night, that this is the one.
Well, I think there's a little bit of my schizophrenia comes right there. Is that part of that? Because this is definitely not the Scorpio style.
Well, that blend, Scorpio and Libra, is really, I call the devilish charm.
Yes, thank you.
because it's a very charming combination. Charming.
That's where my charm comes from.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I'm loving this. So we get some tips on.
You can read the book through, or you can just in a pinch thumb to the person you're going to go out with that night, or. And I do say sometimes this combination usually doesn't work out. Or this is a short-term fling, not a long-term thing, yeah. But I keep, when I speak to people, your experience is more important than what my book says. Wow. So I've tried to make this applicable from my observation and knowledge of astrology. But don't feel like you've made a mistake if something has worked out, because there usually is a reason astrologically that you have to kind of look in a little bit more detail.
So I shouldn't just say no to all Leos from now on. I should maybe cut.
I'll tell you.
I should cut them some slack.
You should, but here's the thing with you and Leo. Now, you see, I have your whole chart, right? So yes. I can say a little bit more. Your Uranus, your planet Uranus is in Leo. So most Leos in you have spark but no longevity.
Okay.
So it can be very exciting, but it's not going to go, it's going to be bumpy.
Friends with benefits, just occasional meetups?
Yeah, I think so. But I don't know if long-term, I don't know if it's the most fun for you.
Well, so they keep being intriguing, and they keep throwing themselves in front of me, and I'll just keep saying, "It's okay. You're a Leo.
Yeah, it's
no,
okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Let's just be friends, and I'll have this whole entourage of Leo friends that keep me sparked.
Why not?
There we go.
Why not?
Excellent. You're going to continue. You've got any other books in the works, or what's your next project?
No, at the moment I am working on. I'm doing lots of radio work, and I have, of course, I do private readings. Anybody who is interested can contact me through my website, ConstanceStellas.com.
Can you spell that for us?
That's ConstanceStellas.com, ConstanceStellas.com. And has my email, and you can contact me, and we can set up a time to take a look at what's what with your chart. And so I have a lot of clients. I'm thinking of writing another book on parents and children from an astrological point of view.
That would be great, or even the element, because we can use those element.
You
things
can,
right now,
you can.
That would be fascinating. I love that.
Yeah, because I think that a lot of the strife between parents and children, again, is this whole notion of, well, I'm this way, and I love my children, so they must be this way, but they're an entirely different element. Mm-hmm. And just with that thought in mind, you can kind of cut through a lot of the agitation that happens between lots of parents and children.
We can certainly navigate things better. I mean, if you're a fast goer and your child is just not, so they're an earth sign, they're going to be languid, you just don't want to give them 2 minutes to be able to switch gears.
Right, exactly.
And everybody will be frustrated. And
it's really going against their grain. And if with the parent who has really the responsibility of more knowledge because they're older and hopefully wiser, just knowing that calms things down a lot, I think.
I like that.
So that I might be doing that one, and then it's possible I'm doing some more stuff on the radio, but that hasn't come through yet.
Always a good thing. Well, you're great on the radio, Constance. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I appreciate how you were able to jump right in there in our bumpy start. I drive a stick shift, too, so that was a pretty fascinating...
So do I. How about that?
That was pretty fascinating as the stick shift and the cell phone around the corners. It's like,
well, at least you're not in New York and you can find parking. I mean, if you were doing that in New York, you'd be going around the block for a longer
I would have just parked it. I would have parked it, and we would have just had the show that way. But no, I knew it could keep going here.
Sure.
So I am, we've got about 4 minutes left here. Mm-hmm. Is there anything you would like to quickly tell us that's of importance? Where can we get your book? You said at Spencer's Gift
online? You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, Borders, and also it has been republished with a kind of hot cover for Urban Outfitters and Spencer's Gifts. Okay. I just found that out. And I think my website and, all of that information is on the book.
And you
should have no problem getting it. And let me know what you think, anybody. That will be fun.
We've got 23,000 plus of subscribers here listening to subscribe to this show, so that's a lot there. And I'm so looking forward to this book. I'm hoping to get an autographed copy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll send you one.
I would love that, because then I'll get on the air here and talk about some of the things that I've found out and how that's all panning out. And I have amazing things going on. I am just been asked to speak, and I find this totally fascinating, at Trinity Western University, which is a very conservative Christian college. I'm speaking on tantric sex for their human sexuality class next week.
Wow.
I know. I was a little bit afraid.
Where is that?
That's up in Langley, B.C., and I was a little bit afraid. I thought, oh, my gosh, once I'm on campus, am I going to be staked out and burned? We've got one. Just, I don't think so. These girls, the people that contact me are very happy to have me come up and speak, and
You might want to tell them one thing from an astrological perspective, maybe not even using the word astrology, because some people feel that it's anti-Christian, which is not true at all, but anyway... That when two people sleep together, have sex, have intimate relationships, all of their, I'll say karma, all of their past life energy, there is a mingling, and each takes on the other's full complement of energy.
Wow.
So it is a very, I don't want to kill anybody's fun here, but it is something that is quite spiritually intoxicating and potentially a rich experience. And contemporarily, as we're kind of in a looser situation with, who sleeps with whom and how many times, people might want to think about that if they're thinking, well, should I or shouldn't I? Or do I want to or don't I want to?
Right. Well, that is very true.
Yeah, it is true. And I think that we've seen, with people that get so involved, your energies have mingled.
Yes.
And it's not so easy to just say, okay, that's it.
Nope, except for those Aquarians when they turn off.
Correct.
Absolutely
true.
I've completely learned that. I've got a minute left here, Constance.
Okay.
Thank you so much for
my pleasure
for being here. I want to tell everybody, of course, I've got a bunch of classes going on, and my website. You get onto my website and you click that workshop button, and it will lead you to where I am in Seattle and up in Vancouver, teaching men's and women's classes. Couples intimacy class on the Sunshine Coast. I've only got 2 spaces left. It's a very intimate couples weekend with me and 7 other couples, which will be an incredibly awesome journey for your partnership. Very solidify it quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Bring It, the singles event of the year, coming up March 7th here in Seattle with myself, Coach Catherine, and Michelle Majors, is coming up, and we're going to rock your world and make sure that you actually get the love you want this year, or the love you desire. And now, armed with this amazing information, I am really going out to bring it even bigger.
Oh,
thank
great,
you so
great,
much,
great.
Constance.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Love
Happy
having
Valentine's Day to
All right.
everyone.
And
good luck in all your adventures, Tanja.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And we are out for today, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the Tantra, Love, Sex, and Intimacy Show with your host, Tanja Diamond. Don't miss next week's show at Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, visit our website at www.tanjadiamond.com. That's TANJA for more information on workshops and classes.